Welcome to the channel. I do appreciate you being here. You don't know what time it is, but it is 1:45 Friday night when I'm recording this, and you can see there. This video is going to be basically about YouTube, where we are in life, people, um, and this guy here, Paul, who I met a couple months ago, kind of developed a friendship the last year on YouTube. His video, I'm going to play a little bit here, was so kind of touching to me personally that I felt a need to address it and talk about things and get things off my chest. And kind of, it was heartbreaking to listen to Paul. But yeah, I can relate, and I'm hoping that Paul does watch this, and he'll be fine.
So let's address a couple things here. Okay, so we're 9 minutes in. I don't know if I even made any points here. A couple things. You're gonna see my dog the whole time. Sky has been like the greatest thing that has happened to me so far this year. I love her. She brings me so much joy. And now I try to incorporate her in as many videos as possible. If that bothers you, you can leave. I made that point clear. We're not changing that up. I got a lot of comments saying, all I see is your dog. It's like, I'm not here to watch your dog. I want all this. I'm here. Everybody just like is so demanding on the YouTube comments. I'm here to see what you bought. Hey, stop trying to be funny. Stop trying to be cute. I don't want to see a dog. I want to see you pick things up. Tell me what it's sold for. Pick something else up. Tell me what it's sold for. Pick something else. Tell me what you sold for.
All right, that was enough for me to kind of get the ball rolling, and I want to address this video, and really just address stuff that's been on my chest, and I can relate to Paul. I'm not worried about his dog in the videos. Maybe that doll head that's on the shelf behind him on the Bambi VHS. But Paul's a great guy, and let me take him off the screen because you guys can go check out his video. And yeah, and I'm going to put a link below in the description if you guys want to watch the full video. And hopefully he doesn't delete it because I enjoyed the video. It touched my heart, and it was so relatable, and to the point where me and my wife celebrated 32 years yesterday, and we went to Longhorns, and my son surprised me, gave us a gift certificate when he came home from work, and I said, why don't we go to the movies too and see Twisters, and we did. So we got home late here Friday. I'm laying in bed with my CPAP machine on, watching Seinfeld, and I do it a lot. I'll watch Whatnot, or I'll watch YouTube on my iPad, and I just happen to put on Paul. And this video touched me so much that I came down here at 1:45 in the morning, and I'm, and we're always conscientious that someone's gonna have something smart ass to say of how you look, or, geez, Patdees, you need more sleep. So, all right, let me take Paul off the screen, and I'm gonna talk about this and a couple things. Okay, I'm back. I do appreciate anyone that has gotten this far and is watching it. Sometimes they say the average person only watches 6 minutes. That's if you're lucky. So it's the world that we live in now anymore. That people's time is so if you don't satisfy them or make them happy within the first 35 seconds, they click off and they move on. So this really is. I mean, Paul is a reseller. What is a reseller? In case you're watching this and don't know what a reseller is, person who buys stuff and sells it at any company, Walmart. I mean, what I find is with social media, we put ourselves. Anyone who's brave enough to do this, first of all, you got to give credit. You got to give because we put ourselves out there and we put ourselves out there to the world and we open ourselves up to criticism. That and sometimes it's the dumbest things. Now, I only have a little over 5,000 subscribers. Paul has 44,000 subscribers, so he's much more popular than I am, and so his comments and his negativity are off the wall. I learned 5 years ago to basically put in blockers from a big YouTube channel that I was friends with at the time. At the time, they probably had about 150. Now they have about 750,000. And they gave me a list of words back then to kind of put in and do things that you would avoid all that thing. And their attitude was block people and just move on. But with that being said, they're in their own drama now with other YouTubers and stuff like that. So, you ever hear the expression "you wear your heart on your sleeve"? And that is true with what Paul's video, and I think with me personally. I don't do this to really make any money because I don't. I average $1 a day. Last year was my worst. When I first started doing YouTube, I got my 1,000 subs within the first 6 months, and I was proud of that fact. I was interviewing big channels, and I had Harry Tornado on the channel, Rally Roots, The Jeebus, What the Hell, Storage Auction Pirate. Those are the 5-6 big channels that I can think of. I developed friendship with other channels, but what was happening with YouTube was, man, there was some negativity, even among YouTubers, and sometimes what happened is they would allow the viewers to sort of drive some of the negativity or the hate or the jealousy of other YouTubers one another, and some YouTubers fed off that. I never wanted to get involved in any of it. Life is short, and trust me, I went through cancer 8 years ago. And unfortunately, I found out a year ago. I'm going through it again now, and I will the rest of my life. But I'm happy to say the rest of my life, I'm hoping that the medicine that I'm on, keeps ahead of what I'm going through. So every day I wake up, I'm grateful. I don't talk about it much on my channel. I've only talked about it maybe 3 times. I made when it first found out again, and an update a couple months ago, and guys, and I'm doing this all off the cuff. I'm not reading, no notes, no nothing. I'm trying to remember everything that Paul talked about, but to me, and I say this to my wife, and cancer treatment's not easy. There's a lot that I'm going through, that fatigued and side, effects, and even a bit of a heart issue that I'm worried about. But every day, and this is where I'm going with this, I'm grateful to be alive and get up, and I like doing this, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. But in many ways, it's like high school. It's a popularity contest, and a lot of times I always joke I feel like the Tito Jackson of the Jacksons, and I look at some of my friends, on YouTube that I think they're friends, but even though sometimes they don't even say hello or ask me how I'm doing, or friendly, let's put it that way, um, because they're busy. They're busy with their lives, and I think people just in general are just busy, and we don't even talk. This is the society that we're in anymore. If you don't vote for this one, or if you don't like this one, people are nasty to one another. I mean, someone doesn't get chili on their hot dog, they're ready to go on Google review and Yelp and scream and holler over a $3 hot dog. Um, it's sad. It's sad. And the reason I do social media is, I used to be in the restaurant business. I had Subways. I had a sit down restaurant. Over the 20 years, I employed 800 different employees. The most at a time was 53. The average was 25, 28 employees. With 1 or 2 years, maybe 15 or 18, if I only had one Subway at the time or something like that. But, on average, it was 25, 28 with the peak of 53, and was very successful in doing the business. And coming from the background that I did, not having a good family and dropping out of high school, getting my GED, and I was always a go-getter, an entrepreneur. I could control, things. I don't think I fired more than 10 employees. Employees quit sometimes, but we always had a respect and an understanding that there's a job, there's an opportunity for you to here to make money, but if they left, or if I had to let them go, it's because they did something wrong. I didn't have to like their personality 100%. Come in and do your job. That's what you get paid for. If you go on in better opportunity, that's good. You want to see people better themselves. And my point is, after that ultimately failed because of a seasonality of the area and going through the health issues that I did, I've been selling on eBay for 26, 27 years, but I had to do something. I had to do something out of the house. I had to do something that I could kind of make my own schedule, and reselling was the go-to thing to do. And when I saw that people could make YouTube videos, I said, wow, I always wanted to make enough doing YouTube, $300 to $500 a month, making YouTube videos. And I wanted to make videos with the life of as a reseller. I made mistakes because what happened was I put too much, like if I went down to Disney, I'm like, okay, well, we're this week we're not reselling. We're going down to Disney with our family, friends. With, oh, nobody wants to see your stupid vacation videos. And I'm like, wow. Or, so I wound up taking some videos down. And then sometimes because I was Switzerland and friendly to basically everybody, I'd have people say, well, what are you talking to them for? Why are you talking? And you know what? I wasn't going to change that. I was like that. And I know bad people, like I don't want to be bothered with. And a matter of fact, and Paul doesn't know this, but Paul used to hang out on a channel in the chat. I don't know if he ever was on the channel, and that I didn't care for, because they would say negative stuff about many channels. They would invite people onto their show and develop a friendship, and 2 months later they're bashing them. I'm like, wow, why? Whoa, come on. And Paul would, so I kind of didn't. I felt like I didn't feel worthy of being a friend with Paul, because I wanted him to like me. And I heard a lot of good things about him through Mel back from Burnout in Australia. And she had been on my channel, and I was friends and still friends with her. And she, oh, Paul's a good, and I was nervous because I didn't want the rejection. And it wasn't until about a year, actually it was basically I found out I had cancer, and I was like, no, I see him in the chat. I'm gonna say hello and kind of throw out. So we had a reseller meetup in Tennessee, and there was several, and Paul was there, and Paul is that gentle giant, nice guy. I always admired, he's from Ukraine, and he was raising money and doing things for Ukraine, and with the T-shirts, and he had a dog on it, and to me that was admirable. I do my own things. I like to do toy drives because there's a story as a kid I got benefit from the Salvation Army. And I learned, man, I was naive, going from being the boss and controlling the narrative of the negativity in a workplace, that I'm like, so I thought, wow, YouTube was great because I could get on here, meet people, and oh, was I naive how vicious people. I mean, just even recently, someone said, "Did anyone ever tell you you look like a fat Matt Damon?" And of course, no one else could see it, but I could see it, and I had a laugh. And even though I've even lost weight, but yeah, I guess so it's funny because when I was younger, someone did say that you remind me of Matt, and I'm like, okay. I used to hear Drew Carey when I was heavier and had the certain glasses, but I can laugh at myself and take criticism as long as it's not. Um, People can get personal. Like, that's why my wife is not ever really in any videos, because I don't want to put her or my kids, to that bullshit of just how people can be so mean and cruel. And Paul mentions this in his videos. If you don't like what you're watching, move on. There's millions and millions of videos. Not all of them are great, and not all of them are bad. Uh, uh, um, but I remember when people used to come to the restaurant and someone would say, "Oh, we don't like so and so," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa!" I'd cut them off. I said, never got caught up in that negativity of talking bad about other restaurants in town. I think it was not classy. It was very, like, I'd say, look, I really don't. I said, there's people that don't like us. There's people that don't like them. I appreciate the customers that come in and support us. So I never would jump on that bandwagon of, and that's why even on YouTube, I was like, I'd have people behind the scenes say to me, "Pat, why do you look?" I said, I love David Letterman, and when I created the channel, I wanted to be David Letterman / American Pickers. I wanted to show things that I would go out and pick and have fun, and then do the David Letterman interviews with other resellers, YouTubers, etc., and have a good time. In other words, David Letterman would maybe have a guest on there like Cher, and she didn't like him, but you bring it, and you brought things on, and I'll go to like wrestling, like when Vince McMahon is in trouble now because found out some of his behavior wasn't appropriate, but Vince McMahon would always have wrestlers come back if it was good for business. Well, like Letterman, I would bring people on that, I had to like them, but not the guests, the people that watch necessarily. So you bring them on for your the broad audience. You know what I mean? So sometimes I might be on a guest on someone's show and someone didn't like, and say, "Oh, look, I had a good friend of mine say to me, "Oh, you had so and so on your channel. Like, oh, we had a problem with him a couple of years ago." I'm like, "Oh my God, he didn't murder anybody or hurt kids." Like, no, he just did that. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, all right, well, that was between you and him. What I learned is, even though we're on this screen, social media and reselling is a very lonely world. Um, I mean, for people to criticize Paul about his dog, who cares? Like, that interaction, if that what makes Paul happy, and that's on there. A lot of people have dogs. I think they would be relatable. Look at Taco Stacks, who I'm personal friends with. People always ask about his dog Salsa. Harry Tornado, people ask about Moe's all the time. What's the big deal? Why do people have to be so damn hateful over something so stupid and frankly is none of their business? Um, you know, and then comments like, I mean, I remember, and he's a good friend of mine now. I ain't gonna mention his name because I don't want him to get mad at me, but I remember in the beginning, Pat is, like a stick in the mud, because I was very serious when I first started doing it. I didn't want people. I always used to say, like when you walk in the bank, and I used to tell the girls at the bank, If I talk too much, I'm a big mouth. If I don't talk enough, I'm snotty. If I act a certain way, I'm a weirdo. And it was a couple of years ago, another YouTuber, and Dusty. And I would talk to him, and he would bust my balls, and sometimes he was a little harsh on me, a little honest, um, and he said, "Just Pat, just do you." And it took him a while to. I don't think he liked me in the beginning, but we had a friendship towards the end. And just do you. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing me. The most important thing for me is family. And as corny as some people, I only have my wife, my two sons. I've developed some friendships with smaller channels that I talk to regularly. One big channel that is very the treasure hunting with Jeebus, Steve and Amber and their family. I've been to their house. We've hung out together a couple times. We've done things at Christmas with the toy things, and I go there. I stopped at their house, their new house, and they gave me a whole bunch of lunch boxes, and they've rated me on whatnot, and I value that friendship. Paul's situation where he's talking about views kind of reminds me of like Storage Auction Pirate, who's been around a long time, another person that wears his heart on his sleeve and is outspoken. And that guy is such a hustler though, and I like that guy, and yet sometimes I get the feeling that to me he's like sort of like Michael Jackson. I used to always joke that Rally Roots was Michael Jackson, and I told him that, and Harry Tornado was Prince. But I guess the analogy is, Pirates like Michael Jackson, popular, and I'm Tito Jackson, and I would just love to have a little bit of that power and fame that he has. But he has over 2 million social media followers, and yet his YouTube content struggles to get views in comparison to what he's doing on Whatnot. He's almost doing $1 million in 12 months, and I on Whatnot have almost at 5,000 followers. So, and that only took me basically a year, and it's taken me 5 years to get 5,000 followers on YouTube, and it hurts. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was there sooner, and I think there's just so much content out there that the people that regularly put out 2 videos a week and are consistent. And one thing I will say, and this is not criticism, this is outside observation, and I'm going to bring some channels in that I think Paul is a super nice guy. And Paul's the reason I'm making this video. Paul, if you're watching, you've been this long, don't quit. Don't let miserable people get to you. YouTube is partially entertainment. What do I mean by that? That means storytelling, making it more relatable to the people that are watching you. I look at Harry Tornado, who's extremely popular, but yet he gets hate, and there's things he's done for people, and yet people have not been so nice to him. But I noticed when he quit his job and did YouTube, when his wife quit, that interaction of 2 people, and then with the dog and a little bit, that made the difference. So I think, and that's where I lose out, I think, on YouTube, because, I'm not cute. Yeah, I'm not always funny. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny, though, sometimes. I think I'm funny. Or just annoying to some. In a world where you think you're funny, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll just stick to doing movie voices and voiceover work, making $0 a month. But just do you. Just remember that. But Paul, if I was here with Paul, I'd say, hey, Paul, how about we do 2 videos a month where we're both on each other's channel and we interact and we do contests. I go to Salvation Army and we see who's going to buy them. That interaction, that buddy, like American Pickers. So I think maybe with a Paul situation, what's lacking probably is he's by himself. And I think when you bring a woman into the mix or another buddy that people can relate to or like there's women that like Haley, for example, because they like want to see a woman. And then there's men that like Haley because she is a woman. And then, and Josh, the Jeebuses are great at storytelling. They fell in love with both of them, and now they have a baby. The baby's kind of come into their videos. So that, I think, is very important. I don't make a lot of videos really anymore because, first of all, when I found out I had cancer again last year, it was a punch in the gut. And if my treatment hadn't started working within 2 or 3 months, I might not be here right now to make this video. And I knew that, and that was a big blow. And this and reselling is a good distraction. And you know what? I have to have this attitude that I'm going to beat it and continue to live. And 20 years down the road, I'm still young, and look back and say, yeah, and there's a lot of things in development. The medicine that I'm on, the main medicine, only came out 5 years ago, and it is very successful. But social media, reselling, this is now, like, this is what I do. And I don't like to make videos just to make videos to say, oh, did I think I was going to make this video tonight? No. But it just broke my heart that there's a lot of YouTubers, there's a lot of people on social media I care about. And I met Paul a couple months ago in Tennessee, and man, when his video, like, just got me here, and because I can relate. And I can tell you one thing: I'm not quitting. I'm gonna beat people's negativity. I'm holding back cancer. I'm a better reseller than I am a YouTuber. But life has its ups and downs. I mean, I got issues behind the scenes that, there's times my whatnots suck and they don't do that good. And I still have an issue when we close the restaurant that is financially like a huge burden. When I made the cancer video, I 8 years ago, the Girl Scouts had made shirts up. We had leftover shirts. I went to I said, I have like 18 shirts. I want to sell them. I sold 2, and I know I look at other YouTubers and they would have bought them. I personally, and I'm hard on the sleeve, I support a lot of people and whatnot. A lot of people on YouTube. And Scott the Bearded Picker said it one time, and he kind of picked up on it. Pat gets hurt because he likes to do for people, and it doesn't always reciprocate back. And that's true. I'm not saying I look for that, but sometimes when you think people are your friends, that, I don't know. I like to network and support other things. If my wife knew sometimes financially how I've supported other people, like, my wife is my best friend. Been with me. I've been with her since I'm 16. She was 18, and I make decisions that she pays for 70% of the bill, so I got to still make money. YouTube gives me $800, $900 a year. That's it. So the first 2.5 years, I donated all back to Super Chats. And I mean, when I did the toy drive last November, I sold like $3,000 worth of toys and made nothing, because all the money that we made, we bought, and then we took the other toys and the other money and we gave it all away. And but I tried to look at, like, I always, and I'm not a real religious person, but like, what would God do? Would God say, I don't know. I just try to, like, in the moment, I remember when we closed the restaurant and I had a couple dollars, and my son was in a car accident, and I gave him every dime I had just so he could get a replacement car. He paid me back. It took like 2 years, and Even last month, I had to borrow $1,000 from him because I still have some issues, like I said, the hangover from the restaurant. And sometimes when you're doing like you're planning things out, and I'm like, I'll pay you back in 2 weeks, and I did. I gave him his money back in 2 weeks. I sold a bunch of stuff on Whatnot. Um, he is my son and his wife have make a lot more money at their age than we ever did. And they're doing fine. They go on vacation. They don't have any kids. We gave up a lot. Having kids, and I wish I could have had more. And so anyone that's watching this, even if you don't do social media, there's someone out there. There are a lot of people that need attention, and there's a lot of people that social media can be so mean and cruel. Find the people that you can get along with or relate to. I love that George Michael song, and I think it was an old Stevie Wonder song, "Somebody to Love." And Paul, and that just reminded me of something too, is the best comedians and the best musicians are usually people like me and Paul. And if you're out, people that go through heartache, people that go through relationship problems, people that go through depression, people that want to tell a story and stuff, those sometimes are the best comedians and best storytellers and best musicians. Storytelling and comedy, and those are the best. And boy, when you can find people like that you can relate to. So I relate to Paul. Paul, if you're watching this, don't give up. Don't let negative people bother you. Mix up your videos, I'd say. And here I am. You got 44,000. I only got 5,000. I think you're a great guy. You're like a lovable giant. I know when I met you, I said, can I get my picture taken with you? You're doing great on Whatnot. As far as YouTube income, I guess don't always it flows, and maybe people aren't watching as much because the political ads are popping up. I don't know. It's summertime too. People are doing things outside in the summer. Wintertime seems to do better, I think, for YouTube, if I remember correctly. But maybe try to find someone local that is in your what you do and incorporate them into the video. Ask them, hey, you do something, and maybe you'll find a new YouTube star and you'll grow and get bigger. Another person, and I really like, is Kevin Commonwealth Picker. His kids are in there, his wife is in there, and I'm sure he gets criticism about his videos, and yet the guy is a genius when it comes to leveraging marketing and doing those types of things. And I wish I had that a little bit. I wish I had that little bit of extra that could push me over, even though I'm just doing me. I always use, when people are so mean and nasty, to one another. I think about how like someone, would leave like mean Yelp review. We could have 100. I remember there was times we fed 600 people. We could 597 people could, and 3 people would bitch about something stupid, and they go, "Oh, I gotta go put something on Yelp." And and I always had to keep this in mind. Nobody liked Michael Jackson, right? The world was mean to him, but he sold 25 million Thriller albums. Nobody liked him though, but he sold 25 million Thriller albums. Nobody likes McDonald's, but it says billions served. So find the people that care about you and focus on that. Don't beat yourself up. It's good to vent. I think it's good to vent like you did, because there are people that even non-YouTube related that can relate to you, and you're willing to travel and meet other resellers. A lot of resellers won't even support other resellers. I don't watch other resellers. I don't support them. That's just a negative attitude too, that I don't get. So I want to support and I want to learn from other resellers and YouTubers. And Paul, in many ways, I inspire to be you in some ways. Um, and I like the way you are. I think you are funny, not cute. I don't want to get weird here. So, all right. I think I said everything I have to say, guys. I think if you stayed this long to watch the video, first of all, thank you. I am going to upload this right now, and I don't know, just be kind. And I know the world is a mess right now. There's a lot going on. Elections are, and the country is so divided in so many ways, and social media has given too many internet muscles to people to if you don't have nothing, everything you thought in your head doesn't have to be put on paper or on that comment section to if you're going to hurt somebody. Why would you do that? If we're supposed to be good Christians and love one another, I love when people are like that too, and they don't even practice it. They don't even by their own behavior. So I appreciate everyone. I really do. When I look at such the big picture, what really matters, and I will be making more videos. I'm not quitting. Um, Even with the guy calling me Fat Matt Damon. I won't. To the moon, Alice! To the moon! It's funny because I went to the fair the other day, and I remember Ed Norton and Ralph, and I'll let you go at this final thought. And there was a church thing set up, and I said, "Oh, how much does it cost to hit the golf balls in?" They said, "Okay, we get 3 golf balls. There was a bigger hole and a small hole. You get 3 golf balls. Doesn't cost nothing." Oh, donation? No. If you get the first golf ball in the bigger hole, okay, then you got to get the golf ball in the second hole. And I'm like goofing around, acting like Ed Norton. Hello, ball. And 2 balls, I got them in, and I got a $5 Dunkin' donut gift card. So my wife sometimes is embarrassed with me. I'm sitting in the stands at the demolition derby, and there was a girl sitting there with her dog, and she goes down. I said, "That dog was whispering to me," and people started laughing. And I said, I was in Walmart the other night, and a lady had a rabbit in there, a rabbit, and then they were telling me the story about some people relate as a cat, and I said, "Well, that girl right there," I said, "she told me she was a cheetah." And they started laughing, and my wife said, "Will you sit down?" And I was having a good time. And when I'm on a roll, and I never, I used to like Don Rickles, because Don Rickles could be funny, and I like Matt Riff. He's another one too. That interaction, that banter with the crowd, but it's never you can have fun, and I watch Seinfeld almost every night before I go to bed. I used to watch Cheers. I love if I can go to bed with a smile on my face and wake up the next day and like, thank you for another day. I'm gonna watch the same Seinfeld episode later that night, and so I don't know. Be happy people, happy people, happy people. Have a good night, and if you do me a favor, comment below, and yeah, give me thumbs up. And did you see also my friend Taco Stacks actually went live yesterday for the second time. I was in his show because I'm one of his mods, and so that was nice to see. I hadn't seen him at all this year because of we've been missing each other at the flea market and the storage unit. So, all right, it is now 2:16. I gotta get to bed, and I gotta upload this video.